Hello, Patriots. I'm Lee Watts, and this is Patriot Point, your source for Kentucky news and analysis from a conservative, Christian, and common sense point of view. Well, this week we're going to be looking at new laws that are being proposed by the Kentucky State Legislature that have to do with health concerns. The first one is going to be House Bill number 16. This is by Representative Mark Hart, and it is going to be talking about having fluoride in the water supply. Now, some of you out there are thinking, well, hey, fluoride, I think that's probably good to have in our water.
Good guess, but actually no.
Yes, actually, there's a lot of health problems that are associated with having fluoride in water. For years, there has been a mandate requiring the people who handle the water supply to have it fluorinated. However, this law, House Bill 16, would say that is no longer a requirement. They still could do this, but it would be optional. There's a lot of different push to get this out of our water supply. RFK Jr., who is about to become the Secretary for the Department of Health and Human Services, referred to fluoride in water as, quote, industrial waste. And he's quite correct. That is literally a byproduct that is created through making fertilizer and has tons of toxins in it. It's actually listed more toxic than lead and a little less toxic than arsenic. Under federal law, do you realize that every single tube of toothpaste that has fluoride in it is required on the tube? Go check yours. That says that if this is swallowed, you're supposed to contact poison control. So this bill already has 28 sponsors saying, hey, let's get Kentucky out of this. If you would like to contact your legislator to be for or against this bill or any of the bills that we're talking about, this is how you can contact them. It is the phone number 1-800-372-7181. That is a message center for the Kentucky State Capitol. It is open weekdays during normal business hours. And when you call, just say, hey, this is the thing I'm calling for or against, and then leave some kind of way for them to contact you back with what your representative will be doing. As I always say, whenever you contact your representative, be brief, be courteous, and ask them to contact you back with what they're going to be doing about it. Let's talk about another health issue. This is House Bill number 86 by Representative T.J. Roberts. And this guy has the incredible idea that you shouldn't have to pasteurize your milk before you sell it. Yes, right now, under the law, you are a criminal if you actually sell unpasteurized, just raw milk. And there's been several cases of different Amish farmers and stuff that have had criminal penalties prosecuted against them for daring just to sell raw milk. Well, Representative Roberts thinks you ought to be free to do that if you want. So good for him. This is House Bill number 86, which would say you will be allowed to sell raw or unprocessed milk. So you wouldn't have to be a bandit for just doing that. And we're talking about how the Amish farmers have been doing this for a long time and have faced a lot of legal battles. Speaking of the Amish, again, the Amish are a people who is a religious sect who doesn't like to do a lot of the things we do in modern society. One of the things they don't do is they don't vaccinate their children. So again, RFK Jr., who in a few days is going to be the new Secretary for the Department of Health and Human Services, in a recent interview, he had cited a study where they had studied this group of Amish people. And based on national statistics, this group of Amish that were surveyed should have had about 2,000 cases of autism amongst the children that were surveyed, based on the national trends. However, the study found 0 cases of autism among the Amish. Well, I take it back. There was 3 cases, but those 3 children were adopted from a non-Amish family that had been vaccinated. Except for that, there should have been, according to the statistics, 2,000 autistic kids among the Amish, and they found 0. Just thought I'd throw that part in for free. Okay, let's talk about House Bill number 95, talking about children. This is something that affects a lot of them and even several of us adults. And this bill would say we are going to ban red dye number 3 from Kentucky Food and Drug. However, House Bill number 5 banning this, I don't think it's going to pass. And the reason for that is about an hour before I recorded this program, there was a news program that came out and says that the FDA has just issued a national ban on this food dye called red number 3. It's linked to a ton of different health problems. However, it's still going to be in your food and medicine. And here's the reason why. The FDA's federal ban does not take effect until 2027 for food, so another 2 full years. And in drugs, they have another 3 years. Drug companies don't have to take it out until the year 2028. It's amazing to me that I'm seeing that the FDA is moving to take this out when, again, RFK Jr., again, a guy put in office by Trump, has been pushing this for years. We're seeing a whole lot of different industries on all different kinds of markets that are starting to fall in line with a lot of President Trump's campaign initiatives. And it seems to me there's been a flurry of this right before he gets in office, having to do with the FDA. We also saw that Facebook is going to say, well, we're going to stop censoring people. And there's just been all kinds of things where people are getting out of this woke ideology. And I think it has a whole lot to do with America rejecting the leftist ideology in this woke business and moving to the right, all indicated by the election of President Trump. Let's look at another bill having to deal with health in Kentuckians, and that is House Bill number 140. This is a great bill, House Bill 140. This would say that if you're going to go somewhere and you're going to donate blood, that they can ask, have you got one of these mRNA vaccines, the COVID vaccine in particular? And if you are a person who's going to be having to receive blood for whatever reason, you can require that they tell you if this blood that they're about to give you, if it was given by a donor that had this DNA changing mRNA vaccine, and you can refuse that and get some of this unvaccinated blood, this COVID vaccine, where you don't have to get that type. It's a wonderful bill to protect Kentuckians' liberties. It is facing a great deal of opposition. There's a bunch of people who don't want to have this question asked, and they want to give it to anybody without them knowing what they are getting. This is House Bill number 140. Would say that if you're donating it, they can ask, have you got this? They can test for it, and anybody receiving blood has the right to know, is the blood you're about to give me contain all this vaccine mRNA adjusting stuff? Wonderful bill facing a lot of opposition. Hope you'll contact your legislator about that. Again, the number to call is 1-800-372-7181. And finally, I want to talk about Senate Bill number 49. This is a bill that is definitely the definition of the nanny state, where the government is just trying to act like a nanny, controlling every little thing that you do. This would apply to people who are in agriculture, so all your farmers, people in construction, landscaping, delivery businesses. It says on days when the heat index is 90 degrees or more, which is almost every single day in the summertime, then your employer is going to have to provide shade, ventilation, a phone to contact your supervisor at any time. They have to provide 1 free quart of water for every single employee every single hour. And they also must conduct a briefing before every single work shift each time this happens on the dangers of heat exposure and stuff like that. And if they fail to do any of these things, then all these farmers and people in construction and landscaping, delivery businesses, they can all face a $7,000 fine for each and every violation every single day. If you think this is a good idea,
stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help. This is the nanny state. Government trying to control every single thing we do. Don't get me wrong, there's certain precautions you need to take if you work outside in the summertime with hydration and shade and stuff like that. But this is, again, government overreach on every little aspect of our lives. That's Senate Bill number 49, definition of the nanny state having to do with heat problems. Well, these are some of the issues that we have this week about health issues. Every single week, we're going to be looking at some of the laws that are up for a vote in different topics. If you know of a law being proposed here in Kentucky that's exceptionally good, that we should be behind, or something that's really bad that we should inform people to be against, whatever it is, put it in the comments section. Say, hey, this is the bill and why it's good or bad. And then we can talk about that on future episodes of Patriot Point. Because remember, as I always end every single episode, remember that liberty is not a spectator sport.
Stop it. Get some help.